What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to share with you an ancient stoic technique that's going to help you deal with difficult circumstances. And this is more important than ever in our current world where things are changing. Things are looking kind of crazy right now with lockdowns and restrictions and changes in what's considered normal and whatnot. This is going to help you cope with that and still live a very happy life. It's also going to assist you in business, relationships, fitness. I've used this for all these areas. I don't hear too many people talking about this on YouTube. I call it the contrast method. So let's dive into it. To better understand this method, we need to look at a lesser known quote by Seneca. Try and follow along and see if you can understand what he's saying here. These same eyes of yours, which at home won't even tolerate marble unless it is varied and recently polished, which don't want limestone on the floor unless the tiles are more precious than gold. Once outside, those same eyes look calmly at the rough and muddy pathways and the filthy people they mostly meet, and at the walls of the tenement houses that are crumbled, cracked, and crooked. What is it, then, that doesn't offend your eyes in public but upsets them at home, other than your opinion, which in the one place is easygoing and tolerant, but at home is critical and always complaining? So what Seneca is trying to highlight there is just how powerful our opinion is and how it's shaped by perspective. You have those people that like to keep their houses super clean, immaculate, without spot or stain. Someone drops something, they complain, they go crazy. But those same people are able to go outside into nature, where nature doesn't follow linear rules, where nature is messy, there's leaves on the ground, nuts and animals, and there's dirty people walking on the streets and on the pavement. Those people have no control of the outside world, but they're still able to navigate in the outside world without feeling any type of way. So it's all about their opinion. They have a higher standard for what their house should look like, and that standard does not apply to the outside world. Now, we can use this feature of our minds, this ability to recontextualize things that are similar to either make us happy or sad, to change how we feel about the current situation. So right now I'm in Australia and there's a lot of crazy things happening, lockdowns and restrictions that have limited me and a lot of other people from being able to do certain things that we once thought were normal. Things like going out to restaurants, things like going to the gym. To go to the gym, you need to have a particular thing that you have done, right? There's a new kind of world order going on. So in order to not go insane or go down this downwards path of depression and anxiety and stress, I had to reframe the whole situation. I had to recontextualize the whole situation and think about how there were similar times in my life where I faced similar situations, but I didn't complain or they didn't upset me. The lockdowns and restrictions, there was a time before I was able to go to restaurants. Perhaps I was 10 years old, perhaps I was 5 years old. I didn't really care about going to restaurants. I didn't really care about going to gym. So what I can do as a human being is assume that state, assume that mindset of what it was like to not be able to do that, and remember how that didn't bother me at all. If you like drinking and going out to the pub or whatever you like to do, there was a time where legally you weren't able to do that. So you can assume that state of being below the age of 18 or 21 and how you still survived, how you were still able to cope. Me saying this is not saying that you should accept and give in to what's going on. You don't have to give in through your actions, but emotionally you can let go and not let it grab you. So that's how you can deal with this current situation. Just assume the state of not having certain things that you had before and then operate from there. And you can also reframe and use this opportunity to do certain things. So in this particular time period between 2020 and 2021, my business has grown exponentially. I've read hundreds of books. I've evolved so much because I've used this as kind of like my own hyperbolic time chamber. I haven't been able to go outside and do all sorts of stuff I used to be able to do or socialize. So I've used that to go inside and gain a deeper perspective of who I am and where I want to go. So there's always opportunities in life to recontextualize, to reframe, to see things from a different lens, and to assume a different state in which you are able to navigate something similar. So I'll give you another example just to really dial this in. In business, you need to learn a whole bunch of skills, right? Some of these skills are somewhat boring, some of them are not that interesting, but you need to learn several different skills in order to get better and take it to the next level. For me to have the discipline to learn these skills, to keep going and going and getting better, I had to assume a state of a younger version of me when I used to play video games. Now, one of my favorite video games was Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and I clocked in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours on this game. I would not get off it. I would just keep playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it. And one of the things that I wanted to do when I used to play it was get all the achievements and become the best player in the game, max out all my skills. So I would spend hours and hours researching on the internet, going on these obscure Oblivion forums to learn where to get special items and how to do glitches and all these types of things to better enhance my video game character. Now, in the world of business, I've used that same tenacity, that same energy that I had at that state to learn marketing skills, to learn copywriting, to learn digital marketing, to learn sales, to learn persuasive speaking, to learn video editing, to learn project management. The same tenacity, the same level of ferociousness, because I assumed that state. I remembered what it was like. I remembered how I went about it. I just stepped into it, and then I was able to do it. Think about your relationships. You know, when your partner is talking to you, sometimes they give you particular feedback and you can get in your ego, and that can really upset you. And you know, you don't want to take any of that feedback because of the particular dynamic in that interaction. And yet there's certain situations in your life where you were able to take feedback from someone. Maybe it was a mentor, maybe it was your father, maybe it was a friend, or someone who's really good at video games and you want to learn how to get better at video games. You're able to take that criticism openly and you actually enjoy that process. So now when you're in this relationship and this dynamic is there, you can assume that state of being able to take that positive feedback and integrate that ability or that version of yourself into who you are now, and that can help you. Another example, I hope this is getting dialed in now. In fitness, you know, I personally hate doing cardio. I hate doing cardio. I hate it. I like lifting weights, but I hate doing cardio. But there is a form of cardio that I do enjoy, and that's boxing. You know, I used to spar with my friends in the backyard. We used to do these kind of like backyard brawls, highly illegal, and I don't recommend that. Luckily, didn't get any brain damage. But we used to do these backyard fights. I used to even host fights in my garage when I was like 16 or 17 years old, where all the school kids would come and we just punch each other in the head. Before I incriminate myself, when I used to box or do the training, it was a lot of fun practice for me. It was a lot of good cardio. I could go on rounds after round after round and not really feel myself getting tired because I was so engaged mentally in the process of boxing. It was that type of cardio that didn't feel like cardio, it just felt like fun. So now when I do other forms of cardio, I can assume the same state that I had while doing boxing. I can look for ways to turn into a game. Maybe I'm walking and I want to see how many steps I can do in 1 second or 10 seconds. I'm just counting how many steps I can do. And each 10 seconds, I want to see if I can beat it. So there's different things that you can do in life to change your relationship with what's going on around you. You don't have to take it for what it is. You don't have to just accept it like what most people do. Through reframing, through stepping into a version of yourself that was able to deal with something similar, you are able to then create your reality. You know, you're not a victim to what's happening on the outside. You ultimately create your state. I actually posted about this on the community tab the other day, that you can be happier in a prison than on the throne of a king. It all depends on your perceptions, and Stoicism really is about mastering your perceptions. It's about not really putting too much stock on what's happening in the outside world and putting more energy, more thought and value into your own interpretation of it, your own internal perception of what's going on, your own internal state. Anything can happen out there. That's what you're training yourself to do, to not be a victim to complete anarchy, to not get too caught up in amazing prosperity, to always be able to draw your state from inside. So this is just one of those techniques that you can use. I call it the contrast method. Look at the different areas in your life where you have contrasting feelings, but the properties of those areas are quite similar, and assume the state of the better state that you want, right? Be the person you want to be at all times. Anyway, guys, do this and you'll be one step closer to living and dying well. Thanks for watching the video. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the bell notifications so we can see more of each other. Until next time.